Hi, everybody. It's time again for the Mikey and Al podcast. I'm Mikey.
And I'm Al. And we are brought today together by Empire Original Designs. JoinTheEmpire.com. Any challenge coins needed out there, anything of that nature, please go to the website, JoinTheEmpire.com. They're unbelievable. They work with a lot of first responders. They work with a lot of teachers' unions. The challenge coins that they put together is just really phenomenal. They did a great job on the Mikey and Al coin. So we appreciate them. And our guest today in the studio is Rolo.
Rolo, welcome.
Rolo, welcome.
Thank you.
Boogie down Bronx, Rolo.
Yep. You from the Bronx?
Yes, I am.
All right.
All right.
Well, used to be.
Used to
Used to be from the Bronx.
Okay.
You now currently live where?
I live in the town of Newburgh now.
Okay.
Yep. Came from the Bronx, moved to Plattekill.
Okay. Well, give us a little insight as the Bronx growing up. Because quite frankly, we see a lot of the Bronx story kind of thing in the 70s, 80s, that kind of shit.
Yeah, a lot of cocaine. You know,
a lot of
disco.
cocaine, a lot of disco.
I was a kid back then.
All right. So you did okay. All right. So
Just
how was
disco.
it back then? A little challenging. Did you have a silver spoon up your ass, or what do we got? What do we got going on?
I always
What's
lived
the
in
deal?
the worst part of the Bronx,
What is the worst part of the Bronx, actually?
like the South Bronx.
South Bronx?
Yeah,
South
Prospect, Sullivan Boulevard down that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit how dangerous it was.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
we're
to
just a couple white boys from up north.
Well, to me, it wasn't dangerous at all. I was always in the street. As soon as I was able to walk, I was a street kid.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, my mom didn't like us in the house. She used to throw us out. She used to always like the house by herself.
Okay. But that's our moms, too.
Exactly.
Yeah, we used to get kicked out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, at 4 or 5 years old, I was in the street already.
Okay.
And
What do you mean
Jeez,
at
all
4
day?
and 5? Come on.
Yeah.
You're not fucking walking around the street
well,
and
my
shit
mother
like that
would
in
tell
your
us to go
diapers.
outside and stay in the front. I
Oh,
never
okay.
stood in the front. I always took off.
Stay on the stoop, right?
Yeah.
So you have like a little lollipop and you're fucking running down the stoop and some kind of shit like that? I mean, come on.
Would you-
Give some clarity. Give us a kind of a what happened? What happened day to day in the Boogie Down Bronx?
I used to go on these little adventures, you know, with a couple of my friends.
Okay.
It was like the Little Rascals,
Okay.
you know, how they used to go on these adventures.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was
Were they
crazy.
criminal adventures?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, when we were hungry, we used to go to the bodega and take cookies, ice cream, or soda and just walk out with it.
You thief.
You know,
You fucking thief. No, I got you. So I got you. I mean, you do that as a
I guess
kid,
you can
right?
if you don't have anything, right?
At that age,
Yeah.
you know, they don't care.
Mom's not
Yeah.
giving you any money for any kind of treats or anything like that, right?
No. You used to
I
get
got
hungry,
you.
you go to the
She
supermarket.
send you out with a bag lunch or anything like that? Or
Never.
jeez.
Never.
That's the worst part.
So mom was basically like, you're on your own.
Oh,
That
yeah.
kind of shit,
Yep.
right?
Well, she was young, you know. When I was born, when she had me, she was 16 years old.
Wow.
My father was 19.
Whoa, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
that's
It doesn't float anymore.
no, you can't do that shit.
does
Can
it?
you do it? I guess you can nowadays. But at
wonder.
the end of the day, you know, when you're 16 and 19, she didn't have stacks of cash in the bank, so she was trying to get by, right?
Right.
Gotcha.
Probably trying to get her own space, right? When you were young, she's 21.
Yeah.
and most
yeah. She
people are
was
going
still-
out.
She was still partying.
Okay, she's going to the
Because
disco.
My dad, I remember my dad ever living with us.
Oh,
He must have left when I was maybe like 1.5 years old, too.
gotcha.
Okay,
So I don't remember ever him living with us.
really?
Yes.
All right.
He used to come around, you know.
Yeah.
You see him occasionally?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was around a lot.
Oh, he was?
Come around,
Okay.
yeah. So he used to pick us up and take us to his wife's house.
Oh.
Oh,
So I had
All
other
right.
brothers and sisters from my father's side.
really?
Yeah, it was kind of quick because we're all close in age.
Oh, so he was kind of bouncing back and forth?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Was that did you feel like that was sort of like the norm down there, or did you feel like you were sort of out of place in terms of like everybody had the perfect family down there, or that wasn't the case? Because nobody has a perfect family. I mean, there is no such thing.
No, that was the norm.
That was the norm,
A lot
right?
of my friends were fatherless too.
Right.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. And
Gotcha.
the mothers were strict. Some of the mothers were strict. Some of them weren't.
Right.
Because I had friends that they stayed out all night. You know, 6, 7 years old. I was out to 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You think you want that when you're a kid.
Yeah.
You do.
Until nobody gives a shit that you're not home.
You just want to
I used to
hug.
come home and the cops were there waiting for me. My mom was crying.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Oh, because they were trying to search for your ass.
Yeah, they were looking for me.
And then you got an ass kicking when the cops left.
Well, sometimes I didn't because the cops used to take the belt away from my mom.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they would. So you'd be happy the cops were there.
Yeah.
They're like, ma'am, you can't hit him with the belt. That kind of shit?
Yeah.
Really?
She was screaming.
And she's like, wait till you guys leave. And I'm
Like, this is the way I learned.
I know.
I was
right?
taught.
I was always getting beat downs. Always.
Did it have any effect? I mean, positive effect at all, or no?
Never.
No, never.
I was used to it.
I got you. And once you get used to that, it's kind of
Yeah.
just roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
I got discipline, but never like that. I mean, I can appreciate that kind of.
She used to try to get me. I used to go under the bed, hide under the bed.
Oh, the old.
I had a
under the bed
fiance
thing.
I used to hide under the bed from. Really, at a guest bed, I used to dive under the bed, and like that would be the only place she wouldn't look, so I'd fall asleep under
Really?
there. Yeah, I'd sleep under the guest bed. Let's not talk about it. It's not about me.
Oh man.
But yeah, you hide under the bed, man.
Yeah, you got to. You
like a
got to.
bunker.
You got to escape somewhere. So you escaped under the bed.
Yeah, she tried
And
to
then
get
she
me.
would.
She
yeah.
tried to get me.
Okay.
So I come out from the other side.
She's like grabbing feet and shit like that. You know,
No.
come here, you motherfucker.
Yeah, grab him awkwardly by an ankle, you know,
yeah.
press your knee a little bit, you know.
She would jump to the other side of the bed, and I go back to the other side. She'd jump to that side, and she was trying to get the broom and poke
Yeah.
me. Try to poke me with the
Yeah.
broom.
Yeah.
She goes, "Don't worry, I'll get you. I'll get you."
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're much quicker than her.
So she would just wait. You're like prey at that point. She's like,
Yeah.
okay.
As soon as he falls asleep, gonna hit him in the nose with the end of
She's
the
like, I'm not going to
broomstick.
get you now, but we're going to wait. And I'm just going to wait.
I also almost burned my mother alive.
You did?
Yeah,
Almost.
almost.
By accident or on
By
purpose?
accident.
Okay.
By accident. She was sleeping.
I was going to say maybe. Right, or maybe we shouldn't talk
We
about
shouldn't talk about that
It
one.
was
So,
an accident. I was playing under the bed with a lighter
uh-huh.
and burning the little strings that hang out from the.
How old were you?
I think I
Two.
was like 4.
Yeah, 20,
I
25.
think I was like 4 years old.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, so you get
I
off the
had,
hook.
I had a little lighter.
Uh-huh.
And I was burning the little strings from the box beam underneath the bed, and then blowing them off.
Yeah.
Burn them, blow that one off. I guess I didn't blow one off, and I took off, did my own thing, and my mother was sleeping. And next thing you know, my grandmother started screaming that the whole bed was on fire while she was sleeping on it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the firemen came.
That looks bad. Even if it went
exactly.
the way you said it went.
And he's like, Grandma, why did you call? He's like, Grandma, why did you do that?
All right.
All right. So we got a little scene change. So okay. So obviously you're fucking around 4 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning at 4 years old and whatnot. How do you transition as you start getting older in the Bronx? So when did you leave the Bronx?
I was in 79.
No. How old?
How old was I? I was 12 years old.
Okay, so as you start getting 12 is probably like grown for a lot of these kids.
Yeah, right at the puberty age where you're kind of like you're set to be a criminal or not.
Exactly.
I could have been.
Yeah.
Because I was always going to Fordham Road to Alexander, and I was always robbing the place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
I was getting my clothes, my toys.
Statute of limitations on that. But okay. All right.
My mom used to say, "Where you get all this stuff from?" I said, "Alexander." And Fordham Road. She goes, like, "Don't get caught. If you get caught, you're gonna get hit.
Yeah.
I ain't
Okay.
gonna get caught."
That's great advice from a mom.
I was gonna say. I love it. Yeah, I love it already. Listen, just don't get caught. You got to put that shit in your sock or some shit. We got to do something here.
Sure, you steal something from mom.
Exactly.
Did you steal your mom anything or
No,
what?
just for me.
Rotten
all
kid.
right.
Just for me.
All right. So Boogie Down Bronx, and you came up here, right, to the old
Puerto
Newburgh.
Rico.
Yeah, exactly.
Platterkill.
Bladderkill.
It's known as Puerto Rico.
In 1979.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
They had a bunch of Spanish resorts there called the La Villas, the villas.
The villas.
Yeah, people from New York City used to come up here in busloads.
Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah, we had that for
You
a long
guys
time.
just stayed one weekend.
Well, my mom, that's the reason we moved up here. My mom came on one of the buses one time, and she met this man called Angelo Lugo. I'm sorry if I said the name.
All right. No,
But
we'll,
anyway.
we'll knock that out. But
Yeah.
she met a man.
She met a man, and they started dating. And he used to work in the oil refineries on Hunts Point down in New York City in the Bronx. So he used to come to the house all the time, visiting.
That's where all the hookers are, right? Hunts Point.
Hunts Point.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
I've heard it called
exactly.
something else.
Go ahead. Me too.
Point.
So what happened?
So they started dating, and he was always at the house. And he was from up here. He was from Plattekill.
And were you cool with that? Or you like, get the fuck out?
I didn't care.
Yeah, leave my mom alone.
I wasn't home.
Exactly,
I was always on the street. I didn't care.
Right, gotcha.
You know, I didn't care what she did.
You're like, go ahead. You do your thing. I'll do mine.
And next thing you know, we came up to Plattekill in 79, the summertime in 79, and we were visiting.
Yep.
And it was nice country, you know. I'm a city kid. I didn't like it too much. You know, it was quiet. Sure. So we ended up going back home, and sometime in September, she's like, hey, how you guys would like to move upstate? We're like, no. Hell no. Well, we're moving upstate. We're like, no.
So that was not... Isn't that great when your parents do that? They're like, how would you like to do this? And then you're like, no, and they're like, fuck it. We're doing it anyway.
Yeah, they're hoping maybe they could corral you with your own agreement
to it. And then you're like, no, and they're like, fuck you anyway.
Yeah, you're going. Because that similar thing happened to him when he went to, right? When he had to move to Germany?
Yep. True story. I didn't want to move to Germany, but I did. And it was a great experience. But at first, it was miserable. But go ahead.
Yeah, it was hard. We ended up moving to Modena in a trailer. There was one house across the street and another trailer next to us, and it was so dark at night. There was nobody around because in the city, we had all our friends.
Sure.
And our building and that building and that building. There was a school right in the middle of all these buildings, a junior high. You know, and everybody played stickball, basketball, football, handball. That schoolyard used to be so packed. That's where everybody hanged out. Well, I hanged out there sometimes. I did my own thing with my own friends. You know, we had our little rascal crew that we used to go on these missions. You know, go to Coley Island, go to the Bronx Zoo, go to Orchard Beach, you know.
That's sort of cool, though.
Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah. But where'd you get the money to get into these places?
We didn't have any money.
All right.
We just hopped the bus.
Yep.
Hopped the train.
The bus, hopped the fence.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Gotcha.
Go to all these public pools. They had, you know, pools everywhere in parks, you know. Van Cortlandt, Crotona, Claremont Pool, Oval Park, towards Gun Hill. I used to go to all these pools. Yeah, we had a good time. Yeah. Even at night, when the lifeguards used to leave, everybody used to hop the fence and go in night pool. You know, everybody used to swim at night.
Yeah.
Even in the city back in the days, they also used to open the fire hydrants.
Yeah.
So everybody used to be out on the street in the fire hydrants.
That's what I was thinking. When I think of the Bronx.
That's a great vision,
And when I'm thinking the summertime, I'm thinking, you know, a fire hydrant.
Yeah.
You know, it's more like the Bronx Tale kind of a vision. That's what I'm thinking, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously that probably
the kids
was 50s,
are laughing
60s.
and running around in circles. And some guy who's a plumber just got off work. He's got a huge wrench, and he opens it for the kids. And then they play like Tony Bennett music or something.
And then everybody had no water pressure, though. In the building, there was no water pressure. The cops used to come and
well, that's the reality of it.
Shut it off.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just for kids to have fun in front of it.
No.
Yeah.
They did it illegally, so the cops used to have to come because people were complaining they had no water pressure. So they used to come and shut it down and said, don't make me come back here again. If I have to come back here again, it's going to be problems, you know, the cops. And they leave and they open it right back up again.
That's how that shit works. Okay. Yeah. All right. So now you made it up this way and made your existence here. And I understand you to be somewhat in the gambling kind of a world too. You did that for a minute?
I did that later on, you know, in my late 40s, you know. Started gambling, got into gambling. I should have never got into that.
Well, tell me how that shit works. How do how do you start? Because quite frankly, you're the one who turned me on to it a little bit. So I've been gambling a little bit on the football thing, but you know everything about all these different teams and all this shit. All I know is football, and that's it. And thank God, because I don't want to know basketball. I don't want to know baseball, because if I did, I would
start throwing money down.
Start throwing money down
Instead
that
of
way.
$40 a week. It's 80. Then it's $150. Then
it is so addictive, Mike.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. And when you win, it's exhilarating.
It's exhilarating. Yeah.
And then when you lose, you try to get that money back.
Yep.
And then you get yourself into trouble.
So down,
you keep throwing yourself down a hole.
Yep.
And then, tell us about your experience with gambling.
Well, I started gambling on football, and I was doing well with it.
Okay.
You know, I was winning.
Yeah.
It seemed like kind of easy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, this is easy. I could make a lot of money off of this, you know? And I started putting more money into it. Like, I upped it up. It used to be $50 a game. Then it was $100 a game. And then I started putting $500 games. Ooh. And then I started doing like first half, second half, first quarter, second quarter, third quarters. So I was averaging. It got really bad.
So you're putting $500 bets on each quarter and the game, and like the under over and like individuals and shit.
10, 20 different teams: basketball, football.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, and you're hitting this a pop, not all in. You're like hitting $200-$300 a pop on each game, right?
It was every day.
Oh,
from Monday to Sunday.
Right. Every day, 20 games. You got money on each.
Yeah, I was averaging $50,000 to $60,000 a week.
Oh,
during the week. It starts Monday and it ends Sunday.
So how long did it last?
It lasted for like 2 years until all my money was gone.
Okay, so you did have some success though.
I used to win like 3,000, 5,000. Then I lose 10 the next week. I lose 8. I lose 2,000. I win $100, $500, and then I lose another 10. So it took 2 years to gamble away $143,000.
Oh, yeah. But you know what? You had fun, right?
No, I'm just playing.
No, I'm just playing. But what I'm saying is,
drove you insane as like a drug or what?
I'm going to tell you,
I couldn't stop. I started gambling on Japanese baseball.
Oh, really? Just because it's the only thing on?
Trying to catch up. I don't even know nothing about Japanese baseball and soccer. Yeah, European soccer. It got out of hand.
So where you get
no knowledge of the teams of the sport?
Nothing, right? Yeah. But where do you get the lines for this? I mean, okay, I
had a couple of bookies.
If I want to gamble on Japanese baseball right now, I wouldn't even know how to do that. I mean, where do you go to do that?
It's on the website.
Oh, so are you doing a FanDuel? You doing
no fan? They didn't have FanDuel back then.
Oh, okay, that's another thing. Yeah, true. Back then, yeah, you just had a bookie, right?
Yeah, you had a bookie.
Bookie always wins. Bookie always wins.
Yep.
Did you have to get help or anything, or you just quit?
I quit when I ran out of money.
There you go. That's the best cure, right? He doesn't have a gambling problem.
Yeah,
anymore.
Exactly. So,
you're right. It was like a drug. Couldn't stop.
Yeah.
But
there is an addictive quality to it, because even just doing the football thing, and I don't put it's $50, $100, whatever it may be, but it just makes it so much worth it. I mean, when you're watching, as far as from my standpoint, when you're watching football and you got $50, $100 on the game, it just makes it so much. You win, it's just an exhilarating feeling.
Sure, even if it's like the Texans and the whoever gives a shit.
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly.
Always upsets. Always upsets.
Always.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah. And professional, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
You always think, they're gonna kill that team.
Yep.
Right.
They won by 30 points. The other team's got 3 players down.
Yeah.
They just come in and kick the shit out of them.
So let me ask you, what was your theory on gambling? I mean, as far as back then, you had to go through, I guess, a bookie or whatever the case may be. But did you have any kind of rhyme or reason, or you just picked whatever?
No, I was reading up on a lot of these teams. I used to read up who's out, who's in, who's hurt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, this guy's out.
Yeah.
They should win,
Yeah.
And
seemed like that worked well.
Yeah. It didn't work.
Yeah, like you got the jump. Let's see who's hurt.
Yeah,
it seemed like it worked well. All that research went to shit.
When I was gambling,
you lost all your goddamn money.
Right.
But
when I was gambling small, I was winning, and I started gambling big. I started losing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, it's tough nowadays. I mean, you see all these stars out there like Dana White and all these. I think there's a lot of YouTubers out there, and they're also in Vegas, and they're gambling. I read an article about Bruno Mars just recently. This guy owes MGM $57 million. He lost $57 million to MGM.
Wow. Really? Is he still a big star? Or?
He's still a big star. I mean, the guy probably, from what I understand, the guy makes $70-80 million a year.
And he has a contract there, I take it?
I don't know if it's a contract, but what I read is that he lost $17 million. But you know what? He lost $17 million in one round is what I read. Can you imagine that? But then again, everything is, what you read is probably half of, Mike, I mean,
sure, they boost everything.
Yeah, they boost everything.
10 times the amount.
Yeah, exactly.
But even if he lost $5.2 million, he might have a problem.
No, absolutely. But my point is, what you read in print, and this going through OCC, and half the shit you read probably is...
Oh, it's bunk.
It's all bunk, you know what I mean? So,
sure. Or there's no facts.
Or there's no facts to it, but yeah, that was what was quoted. But, I think gambling and with FanDuel and you have DraftKings and all that, you see a lot of guys out there probably nowadays who probably are losing mortgages. They're losing their homes. They're losing all kinds of shit.
Well, yeah, a lot of movie stars, athletes, they lost a lot because of gambling.
Yeah.
Charlie
it's
Sheen
probably
used
the
to
quickest
gamble.
way to
Michael
lose
Jordan,
money, right?
Michael Jordan used to gamble all the time.
Oh, yeah,
Jordan. He just has a bunch of sweatshops. Making, churning out sneakers.
The thing is with a guy like Jordan, he's got all the shit that's coming, always replenishing.
He was in trouble at one time.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, really? He put himself in a hole?
Yeah.
I didn't know he could do that.
Yeah.
I thought he had like limitless money.
Me too.
But I guess you're like, hey, I'll put let's bet $20 million on the game,
exactly.
and then you're like $20 million.
He's very competitive, so he used to gamble on everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
No.
I think so.
Something like that. I heard that too.
There's a rumor of that. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we don't. Vin, he doesn't have a mic, but he said didn't I guess Jordan's father get, caught up in that, right, to some degree, but that was never substantiated, correct? I don't think there was no substantiation. It was just a rumor,
allegations or whatever.
Allegations, yeah.
It was a scuttlebutt.
Yeah, guys, the guy's worth a couple of $1 billion.
Oh, he's a billionaire.
Yeah. So yeah, that's crazy. I mean, gambling is it's a beautiful thing if you're winning, but man, when you lose and you get crushed and then you try to double down and
even $40. You think about the $40 you just lost, man.
Oh, yeah,
you got some pizza for the game.
Exactly.
Fuck.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah.
So
it's hard though.
Well,
real hard.
Well,
you think it's a guaranteed win? It's not.
Yeah.
But you come out of that. You're not.
Yeah, I came out of that.
Yeah.
What was the best streak you had?
Oh man,
did you go on a real winning streak? I mean, that must have felt like $1 million.
One time I was up almost 18,000.
Wow.
I ended up winning 8. I started losing, went back down.
Right.
Oh.
Remember, I was betting on first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. I was first half, second half on basketball, NBA basketball, NCAA basketball, NFL. College football, I was doing it all.
Yeah, like highlight games in Brazil and shit.
Those are later. I started doing that later.
Highlight games, exactly. On Japanese baseball teams and shit like that. How does that even work? So you're like, I'm not trying to be offensive here, but I mean, how do you even spell the teams or know what the hell you're doing?
Well, yeah, I just look at their record. I say, oh, they're good. They won more.
But who gives a line on these teams, right? I mean, is there a bookie over here who's giving lines
it's
on these
on
teams?
there.
Oh,
it's on there. Everything's on there. Even
when you say on racing, there, what do you mean though?
Like if you open the app.
Oh, so there was an app.
Okay,
an app. Okay.
I have my own.
I thought you were meeting Vito in the fucking. You got
to keep giving the money behind the dumpster next to a brick wall.
No, you just put it. It's on your app. You have a how you call it your own number, private number, and everything. You just click onto it. And it shows all the stuff.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Horse racing, car betting, it's all on there.
Car betting? What the fuck is that?
Playing cards.
Oh, card betting. I thought you meant.
I don't know nothing about cars. I never got into that or horse racing or nothing like that. I just did sports.
You probably should have.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I know a few of my friends that love the horse racing, horse betting.
Yeah.
A lot of people are into that.
I think it's like you have as much a chance of winning in anything as anything because the odds are just, the odds are what they are. If they're accurate, unless there's a fix.
I've been to the Derby a couple of times. Well, actually, 3-4 times. Never won. Went up to, what's the big race here?
Saratoga?
Saratoga and the Belmont.
Okay.
Never won. It's just agonizing.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah, especially when it's quick. It's just one race, and you put that hard-earned money that you work for, and then all of a sudden, in about 20 seconds, that fucking horse goes around, and it doesn't come in for, and you're like, and then you start thinking, well, what could I have done with that money? That's what I use.
Yeah, we could have went to TGI Fridays.
Exactly, and had a nice meal.
I think about that all the time. Yeah. You know, gambling that $143,000. I was supposed to buy a house with that money.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what do you like you divert? Like you saw a little sign on your way to the bank? Something like a little devil appeared.
I went in a hole 28,000. That's when it stopped. Like it was over 28,000. After I gambled all the money away, I still was gambling.
Ooh.
And I went.
So wait a minute, you went 143 plus 28?
No, that counts with the 143.
Okay, that's fine, but plus 28.
Yeah.
That you had to come out of your pocket.
Yes, that's when it hit me.
So then you couldn't borrow anymore.
Yeah.
No, wasn't borrowing.
Not borrowing.
He had the money.
Oh.
No. I mean, I had the money at the time and I lost it, but I was still gambling.
Right.
And I went in a hole 28,000 plus, and I had to pay that. They cut me off. They go, listen, how are you going to pay this?
Okay, but you got the money. Okay, give us.
This is what I did.
You got.
So we're going to cut you off. How are you going to pay this? Like, well, I get paid every 2 weeks. I could give you $500 every 2 weeks. That's $1,000 a month,
right,
for my paycheck. That's when it hit me.
Yes, because then you're working for it,
right? Because
you got to. Okay, so you came up with that first 100 and something thousand by virtue of. I remember you telling me there was a
lawsuit.
All right, so you got a payout.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to pay out on a lawsuit and then pissed it.
Yep. Then it's not with it.
Don't worry about it. I mean, you know what? You got a great attitude. I just have to note that. Look at this guy smile.
He does.
This guy smiles more.
He
than
really does. I got to tell you, I love this guy because he does. He just lets shit. I mean, roll off his back.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
But yeah, no doubt. So you got that. So what he's saying, I'm assuming is what you're saying is, since that money came in and that was the money that was gambled away.
Yeah.
Then he had an additional money to gamble, but actually he started to feel it because he actually had to pay that shit out, right?
Yeah,
Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah,
now you're actually
working,
feeling it.
Yeah, now you're actually feeling it, you know?
Yeah, you're not spending found money, you're spending work money. Right?
Yes.
You got to work for it. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then I gave them my taxes for 2 years.
Okay.
Which was like $5,000 I was getting back every year.
Yeah.
So I did that for 2 years and some overtime money.
Okay.
That overtime money was like, oh God, really? I'm working for to pay this guy off.
Yeah.
I'm killing myself working overtime, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm never doing this again.
So do you recommend gambling?
No, I don't. I don't. Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I got you into it a little bit.
You did. Yeah. No,
so you do
did
recommend gambling
on the football.
I know.
Yes.
So you do recommend
I told
gambling.
him. I told him not to.
I do freak out though because I mean, me, it's the football thing, and thank God I don't know basketball or baseball or all that other shit because I think I could carry that forward, and I knew with football, and I don't know everything about football. At least I've played football. It's something I'm familiar with, so I know the teams and all that shit.
Did you wind up or down after the season?
I think I probably ended up breaking even.
That's not bad. And all the excitement?
Yeah, and
that's
all
the
win. Excitement. It wasn't anything.
It's a win if you break even?
Yeah. I didn't. But again, I wasn't,
fun.
I wasn't betting, $1,000 a game or some shit like that, like $100 a game, something to make it entertaining. Yeah. And it does make it entertaining. There is some kind of concept whereby when you see that win, you're like, and then you just go
you get invested in a team you don't otherwise give a shit about.
Exactly. For that period of time when you're gambling, So I mean, it does make sense, but I can see guys getting into it like fully into it.
Oh yeah.
And losing
everything.
And
quickly.
Oh yeah.
Quickly.
Right? I'm sure that whatever what you started with, you could have lost that in 3 months.
Yeah.
If you didn't have some success.
I won and I lost. I won, but I lost more than I won.
It just keeps going down. I mean,
people say that ain't nothing. I'm like, what do you mean that ain't nothing? For me, it's something. Oh, I lost over 500,000. That ain't nothing. That's
who are these fucking derelicts who say
they're probably worth $20 million.
I know exactly.
So, what are you gonna do? Come see.
Like you said, they lose their houses and stuff.
That's shitty.
Yeah. That's shitty.
Yeah, and then your kids are in the street. Your wife.
They got the college fund.
Oh yeah,
college fund is gone.
Oh, it's been gone.
Yeah. Well,
I'm a new gambler. I use the apps, FanDuel's, stuff like that.
Right.
Back in the day when you had to use bookies only, did they offer these like 10-leg parlays where you could put $5 on and win $1,000?
Oh yeah. They got parlays and all that in there. Yep.
Now when you
I lost big with parlays too.
Yeah, don't we all, right? So like I for instance, like I'll put a $5 bet down, lose most of them, but then you do come up a quick 200, right? Whatever it is, 200-300. Were you the kind of guy that was putting, okay, I'm taking 150, putting it away, and I'm gambling with this 50?
No.
No.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
So now now with bookies, because a lot of people bookies barely exist anymore. Everybody's using.
There's still bookies around.
You got to look for them.
No, they're around. There's a lot of them still around.
Yeah. Well, for the common guy my age, right, we use the app, right?
Well, a lot of them, not to interrupt you, but I'm assuming a lot of them can't even, a lot of the guys who are going through bookies, like when you go through FanDuel and you go through DraftKings, you got to link your bank account into the thing. Then shit is reported to the IRS, and that literally, I mean, that whole thing, it's a transactional kind of a thing. So yeah, I can imagine there's a lot of bookies out there because a lot of guys out there, they don't have, first of all, some don't even have bank accounts. So they're like, you know what? Let me just deal with my, my bookie.
You're not dealing with taxation.
So with the bookie, would you have to go to him first, say, all right, here's my 50, or you just say, I'm going to bet 50, I'll get it to you if I win or lose?
No, say like, my bookie will come to me. I'll go to him. I said, listen, I got this guy that, he wants to get in. He goes, is he good? Do you trust him? I'm like, yeah, I trust him. Yeah, you sure?
It was a little more gangster.
Yeah. He goes, okay, yeah. Call me up and I give him a website, and you do your own thing. But if you can't pay, it's not going to be on me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, we know a guy. I mean, Rolo, we know a guy. We may as well do the Super Bowl story, right? We don't have to bring, without saying names, there was a situation, right, with the Super Bowl that just happened here in the area.
Really? Locally?
Yeah, local.
Corruption. What do we know?
No, but I mean, what do you do around Super Bowl, right? There's
like a box of Super Bowl boxes.
Yeah, Super Bowl boxes. So a lot of bars and restaurants. Well, not a lot of them, but I mean, there are some bars out there that they put boxes together, right?
Yeah, at the jobs, people's jobs and stuff. They always have Super Bowl boxes. $10, $20.
Right.
Some of them are bigger. 10,000, 500, 1,000 boxes.
Yep. Oh, so there was a situation where we know of that. What was it? A $500 box or something like that?
$500 box.
Yeah. So a $500 box, and
the final score is $22,000.
$22,000 payout. Now think about that. $22,000 payout. That shit is like paid out. It's supposed to be paid out in cash, right? I mean, at the end of the day, because it's all under the table bullshit.
Right.
And that happens on the Super Bowl. I mean, come on. I knew bars in Brooklyn, in Queens. Squares, right? They all do that shit. And you never know. I mean, what happens? Because I think this bar, they didn't pay out, right, or some shit like that.
Yeah, they didn't pay out. Yeah. Just giving $8,000 and spent the rest.
There you go. So my point is, you never know who you're dealing with, because in that kind of world,
all you need is someone to just disappear with everybody's money.
Yeah,
which
you never
leads me to my next occupation, which is selling Super Bowl squares next year.
Exactly.
I could probably get somewhere in the neighborhood of 250,000 or something, right?
It's
run enough squares and burn enough people.
Oh yeah,
could burn everybody I know.
You're supposed to pay if you hit, you pay a tip. Like a tip,
Supposed to
they get a percentage, I think. They get a percentage, like 10%. They get a 10%.
Yeah.
And,
that's not bad, but you have to be responsible and actually pay people.
But how fucked up is it that you're going to go collect your money and it isn't there? you know what I mean?
It's like working off the books.
I know. And then you got to deal with that kind of shit. That's a little hard to deal with.
It's crazy.
So, I mean, the gambling thing, I think,
Is anybody after this person who put up the square? Did they blow town?
I mean, you got to pay. He didn't blow town, no.
No, but he's got to pay.
He got to pay, yeah.
Is there like a coalition of square owners?
I don't know.
You know
what? I think it all depends upon the individual and how they're going to be able to.
I don't know how he's going to pay that money.
Yeah. Well, you know what? My point is, from a gambling standpoint, it's always a little shady. It doesn't matter even if it's FanDuel or DraftKings or anything of that nature. Anytime you deal with gambling, you're sort of on that shady side,
Yeah,
because
sure.
you got, especially.
Yeah, there's no love.
Right. There's
attached to gambling.
no regulations.
It's just like missed mortgage payments and
Right.
Right.
So if you miss, let's say you're gambling and you're doing these boxes at like at the bars and restaurants, you're basically at the mercy of the individuals running that fucking pool.
Yeah.
You know, because if that person is not, if they're not stand up person, what are you going to do? Who do you call? You know, what do you call the cops?
Vito.
Can't do nothing.
Call up Rocco and Moose.
Yeah, you do.
Right? I mean, granted you're willing to do that, the average person who just hangs out at the bar, is probably not going to do that.
Right. You're going to have to call somebody, and then you're going to have to pay them to try to get some of your money.
Yeah, and then you're going to go to jail, and you're going to get sued by the guy who owes you money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a shit show.
Shit.
So, yeah, I can.
Well, that's what the mob used to do,
Yeah.
They'll send somebody over there to collect their money.
Yeah.
If you don't pay, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, they're going to break your legs.
Yeah, I don't see that shit. The boxes, I don't see that happening in Staten Island. I think in Staten Island, everybody's going to have to pay out.
Yeah.
Because
You got to pay out.
Yeah, there's got to be.
Otherwise, they'd go under. They're not going under. They'll put you
They're
under.
not going under.
Yeah.
No.
They make you pay.
Yeah.
You're going to pay.
You're going to pay. You're going to figure out a way to pay.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. But
I mean, they'll work with you,
Yeah.
They'll work with you. They're not.
So they're not just. They don't just come in and smash your living room up right away and
They
start
give you a chance,
threatening you.
here, pay us here little by little also, they'll work with you. But if you don't, then it's going to be a problem.
I'm curious out there to all the fans are watching the show, whatnot. Is the box thing at the bars? Is that a New York thing, or is that?
No, that's been around forever.
Is that ever?
Probably worldwide now, yeah.
That is. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. Because I've seen some, boxes like $1,000. So you have $100. That's $100,000. So these payouts,
People with money, like big,
Are we talking about Hunts Point again?
they got $100,000 boxes, $10,000 boxes, $100,000 boxes, $50,000 boxes. I mean, I can't afford
insane.
that. That's people with money.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's just insane. Crazy. Well, in terms of gambling and whatnot, I would say just stay the fuck away from it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
You're never gonna. I mean,
listen.
who has made money? I mean, consistently.
They got
doing
people that make money though.
I guess bookies,
they?
right?
Yeah.
But the individuals, individuals that steadily make money.
They got people that work that make money for you. They know, but I don't know these people though.
I got you.
They know who to take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't
no
it
shit.
Wasn't it Casino, or what movie had that with De Niro? He was like he was always a big time gambler for the mob, and then it turned. I think it was a Casino portrayal. I can't remember the guy's name.
He ran the casino.
He ran the casino,
Yeah.
but I think that was based upon some
It was a true story.
character. Yeah, true story.
Yeah.
Story.
Well,
I
have you
can't
ever
remember
had
the guy's name.
situations where you've seen the bookie go broke?
No.
Never.
Not that I know of.
I wonder if that happens. The bookie, he just has a bad day and he's in over his head. But then again,
If people don't pay him, yes.
how rich is a bookie?
They make a percentage
Right?
out of that. Yeah, they make a percentage. But if they don't get paid, you're right. I think they might.
Let's say you place $100,000 bet and lose, and win. The bookie owes you $100,000, right? It's coming out of his.
Yeah, it comes
his
out
pocket.
of.
That's a good point.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's say someone hits huge. Let's say someone comes to the bookie and goes, "I want $1 million bet," and then wins, and takes all the bookie's money. What happens in that situation?
I don't know.
Break the bank at Monte Carlo kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
What do you do then?
I don't know too much about that. But, I mean, you're going to get your money because the bookie always wins. You're going to get your money. But they go through somebody else, too, because somebody else, they work for somebody else. They get a percentage. So the other people usually pay. But they got a lot of other people,
What's
Keeps going up, keeps going up, keeps going up.
What's the
pyramid.
big the bookie gets? Is it, do they get like 10% or some shit?
I
like
don't
that?
know what the percentage they got. I never asked. I never asked
I
none
was
of that
wondering.
stuff.
That's good you don't ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably would have been.
You just stay away from that
Caught up in
bookie.
some
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But anyway, yeah, I think this is all good information. I guess the bottom line is anybody out there who's thinking about betting, rethink it.
You could gamble, but don't gamble crazy.
Yeah, it's just like anything else in moderation.
$25.
Yeah.
Nothing
So,
big.
Before we cut, I've spoke to a professional gambler once before, and he said the best way to gamble is do $5-10.
Yeah,
and
gamble small.
Gamble small. You should take your chances. It makes the game more fun to watch, and you don't go broke.
Right.
All right, so we wrapping up. I know we want to do a quick one today. So, well, Rolo, how do we? Mike, you go ahead.
Well, I think that's about it for the show. Rolo, thank you very much for being on. Thank you for being honest.
Thank you.
And join us, to the audience. Join us next week with our permanent guest, Rolo.
Exactly.
I know we got more stories we need to get from Rolo, so we'll have him back on.
We'll have him back on again. I loved having you on.
We just touched the surface, but
write a book of mine. The Bronx thing. Growing up in the Bronx.
You know what's going to happen? You're going to go home and you're going to think, "Oh man, I should have said that."
Oh, there's a lot more stuff, man.
I know.
A lot more stuff.
Note it, and we'll have you back on.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? At the end of the day, we're going to have a list of other guests that we're going to have on, and we really appreciate you guys tuning in today. And as always, look forward to seeing you guys again. Rolo, thank you for coming today. Appreciate that, brother.
For having me.
Absolutely, giving us a little insight about gambling, a little about the boogie down Bronx, and
just a little bit there.
We just scratched the surface.
I appreciate your honesty, and I think you have a great attitude considering how much money you lost gambling. Really, yeah, you do. You're all healed up. You don't have that wild look that gamblers have. Man. You're not waiting to get somebody.
No. So thank you guys. We'll see you next week, and that's it. Right?
That's all.
All right, that's it, guys. Thanks.